Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope and pray that you're all doing fine. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi ashabi ajma'in. Tatliman kathiran kathira. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. The praise is for Allah. We do praise Him and seek His help, and He seek His forgiveness. And we seek Allah's refuge from the evils of our desires. And whomsoever Allah gives guidance, none can mislead him. And whomsoever Allah lets astray, none can guide him. And I bear witness that there is none worthy of worship other than Allah, and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His servant and the final messenger. Allah has sent him in truthfulness as the giver of glad tidings and warner ahead of the day of judgment. May Allah send mercy on him, on his household and his companions radiallahu anhum. We pray to Allah to include ourselves among those who are obedient to Him and to His messenger. And we seek Allah's pleasure and refrain from His displeasure. Beware, this world is undoubtedly a casual abode, and both of the evildoers and the virtuous earn from this very place in the given amount of time. Listen, and undoubtedly the hereafter is sure to come, in which the mighty King will deliver the judgment. And undoubtedly the entire well-being is in paradise, and the entire evil is in hellfire. Thus, beware and do actions fearing Allah, and be aware of the fact that you will be presented to Him on the basis of your actions. Allah knows what is inside you and outside you, and your limbs and organs will testify in your favor or against you. So just be mindful how you spend your life in this short phase of your overall life, and then you will be presented to Him on the basis of how you spend your life here. Anyone who does a smaller good shall see it, and whoso does a smaller evil shall also see it. All of you will be assembled on the day of judgment before Allah in bare person. Thus it is the fact that myself and yourselves too are approaching fast our end in this worldly life, passing on to the next phase of the life. That death here is really not the death. You will be raised up again, and thorough accountability will be taken, and you will be directed to either one of the places depending on what you did. More importantly, how Allah feels about you. The pleasure and mercy of Allah Azza wa Jalla is prerequisite for entering Jannah, which we all hope to. So inshallah ta'ala, I probably will talk something about month of Rajab. We are already in the month of Rajab, which we all know, and there is a lot of misunderstanding about this month in the Muslim community, and this misunderstanding is a long list, but I will try to touch some of them and try to make you aware of it so that you protect yourself and also help others doing so. Foremost, you have to ask, what was the practice of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on citing the month of Rajab? When he saw the hilal, what did he do? I'm sure most of you did, or most of you didn't do it, or you didn't even know what to do. We are so sucked up in our daily life, whatever that it might be, you have no time to go and seek hilal, no time to do what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did or his Sahaba did, because we are so busy. In fact, they were more busy. They didn't have 9 to 5 air conditioning, SUVs and all that stuff. They had no food. They were in battlefield. They were memorizing Quran. They were listening to the Hadith. So you and me have no excuse. They were more busier, and they were doing more productive work in the terms of Islamic terminology. So what Rasulullah sallam did on citing the month of Rajab's hilal was, he asked Allah he prayed. He says, Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa ballaghna Ramadan. So this is what he said. In translation, it is, O Allah, grant us the blessings in the month of Rajab and Sha'ban, and take us to the month of Ramadan. In other words, he was asking Allah to extend life so that we may witness the month of Ramadan. Thus, the believers anxiously awaited for the arrival of sacred month of Ramadan. Is that our condition today? You can answer the question yourself. So it is the act of sunnah. We just don't care. That's our condition. It's just sunnah. I mean, when it comes to Ramadan, it's just, just. What is left is I don't know. If you keep on telling it's just this, what is left? So if any one of you has not done this, they can even do it today. And you get reward of sunnah, and Allah will answer your call. Otherwise your Ramadan will come and go, and you'll be the same person. Enter Ramadan and exit Ramadan, you are the same person. You just, what you did, you start some hours, you were thirsty, and some nights you were awake. And that too also is miserable. You are in the Taraweeh or not in the Taraweeh. You are running away. No khushu, no concentration. Likewise, the Saum is devoid of spiritual benefit. It's just hunger and thirst. Anyway, we'll talk about that when we are more close to Ramadan. But our condition today, because half from Rajab is past, we haven't probably done what was supposed to be done. So there is now, that was the foremost practice he did. And then there is no place in the Sharia for many of the customs and things going on which have become very popular and sometimes sort of obligatory people are doing in this month. Wasting time. In fact, not only wasting time, getting negative marks for doing things which have not been legislated. It has been widely circulated that the night of 27th of this month, Rajab, is the night of Miraj, and should be like the night of power, Laylatul Qadr, and that the virtues of the night of Miraj are more or less like those of the night of Qadr, or sometimes is more virtuous. For this night, people have invented certain types of ibadat, prayers to be offered with specific recitations and styles. It should be well understood that all these are baseless practices having no place whatsoever in Islamic Sharia. But they are very popular. First of all, if you know the Islamic history, it is not certain that the 27th of Rajab is the night of which Holy Prophet ﷺ performed the ascension to the heavens. It's not sure. There are various narrations on this point. According to some of these, the Holy Prophet ﷺ performed Miraj in the month of Rabiul Awwal, and according to some other in the month of Rajab. Still, some other have some other months. So there is no certainty about the exact date of the night of Miraj. So is the year of marriage not certain. And people ascribe so many things to it out of ignorance. You may think that if the night of Miraj had been a special night, with special injunctions about it, like the night of power, the month and the date of its occurrence must have been preserved. As this was not done, it's not the case. It is not the night to specify for any certain type of activity, specially designed for that particular night. But let me make a point here. Whatever the date it might be, whatever the time it occurred, it cannot be denied that it was the splendid night which Almighty Allah conferred on the Prophet ﷺ, a unique honor, the unique honor of inviting him to his elevated court. Indeed, very splendid was the night, about whose magnificence no Muslim can feel the slightest doubt about. So let me be clear about that. Now remember, the event of Miraj took place on the 5th year of the prophethood, and some have some other years. If you go by 5th year, this means that after this unique event, the Prophet ﷺ lived in this world for 18 years. During this long period of 18 years, there is no evidence that he ever issued any special injunctions about the night of Miraj or made some arrangements for its celebration or advised Muslims to keep vigil on this night in devotion for more reward. Nor did he himself do anything to celebrate this night, nor did he even ask the Khulfa Rashidin or noble companions to do any such thing, arrange special celebrations or celebrate different type of ibadas. So this makes it very clear that whatever is being done has no basis. You go back a little bit more detail, noble Prophet ﷺ and his noble companion radiallahu anhum lived in this world after him for about 100 years. During the entire period of this 1 century, there is no proof of even a single incident in which the noble companion radiallahu anhum took care to celebrate the night of 27th. It is then an innovation, bidah. To declare something a part of deen as an act of sunnah, or to treat it as a sunnah which neither Prophet ﷺ nor the companion radiallahu anhum ever did. There is not a greater fool than he who says, never mind, I shall do that because I know more, knows billah, than Prophet ﷺ. Which night is greater in virtue? Or I have greater enthusiasm or greater devotion, and I shall do what all the companions also did not do. So, Nazbullah, this is a very grave statement. So far as the deen is concerned, the fact is that the companion radiallahu anhum, then the tabi'in and the tabi tabi'in were the foremost in following the deen and love and devotion to the deen and sincerity than anyone else. So if he calls himself person doing this, he is foolish. It's a foolish claim to know more deen, or to say that this is 21st century, this is how we need to do. It's a foolish statement, more than foolish. I'm just using a decent word for that. So claiming that you have more devotion, more enthusiasm, I'm going to get anyway the reward no matter who did what. So this is not the way of submitting to the Tawheed or the teaching of Sharia. So that is an important point to note, no matter who says what. This is therefore, it's bidah to arrange for special forms of worship on this night, worship and devotions are good. No, there is no doubt. Worship and devotion are good. There is no harm in doing it. But it cannot be specified which has not been done. So the purpose of doing this on special night which never has happened, never has been legislated, that is the problem. But if you can't do it every night, alhamdulillah, this is good. Because there is no evidence of what the people are claiming and majority of them doing today. That is the problem. Likewise, fasting on the 27th Rajab is not proven by any authentic narrations or traditions. So some start fasting on this day, 27th day, after they have did whatever they did on night, and they think it is have a lot of virtues, and they compare it to fasting on Ashura and Arfa. There is no authentic hadith to support it. There are some da'if and weak hadiths, but nothing in the authentic Sahih hadith to support this view. And in fact, Umar radiallahu anhu, the second Khalifa, when he came to know that people are fasting, taking special care on 27th, he went out to stop this bidah. He would not tolerate the slightest deviation from the true path of Islam. So he used to approach everyone suspected of fasting, and he would make them eat. Make sure he is not fasting. That's what he used to do. So he did to impress the people that fasting on that day had no special virtue, and it is a bidah when you legislate it, which has not been a part of deen. Fasting on this day was not just like fasting for Ramadan. There's no special day. But if you're fasting on a particular day, it happens to be the day again, but there is no problem to that. He took this care and trouble to eradicate among the people the practice of bidah. So he was very, very firmly grounded on that. He never tolerated any type of bidah whatsoever. So we had to guard ourselves, because we all know shirk and bidah got a very bad consequences. Shirk, unless it is forgiven, it is a kufr. So is the bidah, is hellfire. So the acts of bidah, if you look them externally, apparently they are virtuous acts. They are good acts. So now the question may come, okay, what's the problem? We devoted the night, we fasted. What's the problem? Did we do any bad thing? Did we commit robbery or murder or any such thing? What's the big problem doing it? This may be a question which we need to address. So how do you reply this answer? The question here from people who are ignorant is, are we doing a good job? What's the problem? For that, you need to understand Deen is the name of total submission to Allah Azza wa Jal. That is Deen. Not what you think, I think, he thinks, what is comfortable, what we just imagine. That's not Deen. Umar radiallahu anhu told people that Almighty Allah did not prescribe fasting on that day, and the real problem lies in self-invented practices. So the essence of deen, of faith, consists in the obedience to the injunction of the Sharia. Allah demands absolute obedience, total submission. In prayer, in salah, in fasting, in all the activities of worship. Only when Allah commands His servants to perform acts in worship in a particular way, that has to be done in that way. It is also a worship and a devotion when Allah commands to shun them off, you need to stop. That also is a worship. So if He tells you not to do, not doing and obeying Him is a worship. And doing it against will be an act of disobedience and against the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. Worship has to be from free of wills and desires. It has to be total in the sense of pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal. So worship means reading Quran, coming to masjid, making salah. All that has to be done to please none but Allah Azza wa Jal. If you're doing this for pleasing anyone else or pleasing yourself, you are mistaken. You have to correct that before it's too late. The essence of deen is obedient following of deen. If Allah lets people know this truth, then the practice of bid'ah will be uprooted. But that doesn't happen because nafs and the shaitan are with us. Now, if anyone gives special importance to fasting on this day, he is willfully committing an excess in the matter of deen from his own self. And that is a fake deen. To fast on this day, this point of view is not lawful from the Islamic Sharia. There is, however, no objection if you have been fasting round the year on that particular day, and that is again Rajab, so there is no problem for doing that. But you cannot single it out. So there are many more practices of celebrating this month, which I cannot go in detail, makes no point. But any activities, basically nothing has been legislated to do in this particular month, but to prepare for Ramadan. So are you ready for Ramadan? Are you preparing, or are you still busy in the worldly affairs? So if you are not preparing for Ramadan, Ramadan will come and go. You will be the same person. You just fooled yourself that you did something. That's what usually happens. Year and after year after year after year after, your life is not getting long, it's getting short. So if that is the condition even today, that's what is going to happen like it happened last year. So you have to devote yourself, prepare, like any activity. You do it in dunya matters. You do all the preparations. When it comes to matter of deen, which is actually more important than dunya, we are slack. Anything related to deen, we are slack. I don't know why, but there are various excuses. But that is not the case of a sincere believer, because he knows about the akhirah. He knows what is lying in the head. So there are like traditions of distributing sweets and having so many other practices in this month which have no basis whatsoever. Like a poet says, the truth is lost in false stories of this ummah. Ummah is lost in nonsense and frivolities. That's our condition today. Haqiqat riwayat mein kho gayi, ye ummat kharafat mein kho gayi. This is the condition of the ummah today. The reality, the truth is lost in false stories. And this ummah is lost in nonsense and frivolities. So we are lost because we have been given Sirat al-Mustaqim, but we are still lost. And such useless and rather harmful practices and activities are regarded as binding by common Muslims today. It's important to bring this topic out, teach them, train them, show them that that is not the case, because some of them may not be having any hostility towards Islam, but they just being common people away from knowledge, they think it's just like the Eid al-Fitr, let us do it, what's the problem? So unless you teach them, you go and inform them, we were basically made as a da'i to non-Muslims, because there's no prophet coming, which we are unfortunately not doing properly. Somebody else is doing for us, CNN, BBC, they are doing it for us. And now we have to teach our own self. And that is also, we get a lot of resistance. If we're going to teach somebody, a lot of resistance comes. So we are in a bad shape. And of course, this has been forecasted, so nothing new about this. It is the condition today we are in. Whom should we blame for it? Not XYZ. Blame yourself. We are the one to be blame ourselves first as to why we are in this condition. So the month of Rajab is an introduction to the holy month of Ramadan. It is therefore necessary to keep yourself prepared in advance for this month of Ramadan. The Holy Prophet ﷺ has prayed for his ummah and drawn attention to the blessings of Ramadan 3 months before its advent, so that they should be able to amend their usual program of life in order to devote to piety and righteousness in this sacred month to the best of their ability. So may Almighty Allah have mercy on us and help us to understand and follow the deen in the proper in a proper way, so that we can benefit. We have the tools, but we are looking at some other place. So again, to summarize, what did Prophet ﷺ do? When the Rajab came, he prayed. He prayed to get the benefit of Ramadan and Shaban and keep him alive till Ramadan, so that he can benefit from Ramadan. And now the big question to ask is, did he ever celebrate the night of Isra al-Miraj? Did he fast on the next day? Did he instruct the Sahaba radiallahu anhum to do certain things on this night? Did the Sahaba radiallahu anhum did it for 100 years? They survived any of such things? Did they celebrate this night? Did they specifically fast in this day? And what are the actions of Sahaba radiallahu anhum? Questions to all these questions. Answer to all these questions is resounding no. No. But you look around, the Muslim Ummah is busy in doing all this, where there is no basis. And Rasulullah said, there is nothing that brings you closer to Jannah except that I have informed you that what you should be doing, and you should stop doing what I have told you not to do. So why do we not have any Sahih report of Prophet ﷺ or the Sahaba worshipping Allah especially on this night and fasting next day? We don't have. And why do we keep doing it? And because what was not the practice of Rasulullah ﷺ or his Sahaba, we are devoting our time and energies at the cost of doing the obligatory acts. So that is a serious matter. It's not a trivial matter, but unfortunately that is the condition today. Then, like I told you, there are various excuses. One of the excuses, everyone does it. What's the problem? Everybody does it. And this scholar told he can be done, this, that. Another excuse is, I have a good intention. Okay, is that enough? If you have a good intention, do something in Sharia, is it okay? Because there are two things required for acts to be accepted. One is intention, plus what is the next one? It should be according to the Sunnah. Unless one of these are missing, the act will not be accepted. So you having an excuse saying, my heart is good Sunnah, my father does, my grandfather did. Father, grandfather, Abba Ajda, they have no place in Tarbiyah or in Deen. That is what the excuse of majority of the people before was. My grandfather used to do. I'm only going to listen to them. Doesn't matter what the reality is. This is a standard phrase in Quran. Abba Ajdad. They have the authority to tell me, and I'm going to worship them only. This is a new thing. I'm not going to take it. I'm just going to listen to my Abba Ajdad. So that same type of mentality keeps you out from the real path of improvement and drag you to the other path where there is none but destruction. So we have to stop that. Whenever you get across a truth, you accept it, no matter where it is coming from. The Jews in Medina know that Prophet ﷺ is the real prophet. But they say, no, we are not going to talk to you. Who are you? Let my father talk, I can listen to my father or my grandfather. Abu Talib, his uncle, he knew. This is the mentality we have got stuck with this. And your father is not doing right, your grandfather is not doing right, you want to follow him. So we have to get rid of that sickening mentality to improve ourselves. May Allah help us. Inshallah, if you keep listening and act, you will be blessed to become better servants of Allah Azza wa Jal, better connected to Him. Service and servitude, which is a prerequisite of getting His pleasure, which is a prerequisite of entering Jannah. So action plan is try to restrict yourself, try to start preparing for Ramadan, help others to do likewise. So we ask Allah to make us the followers of Sunnah of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, make us live in Islam and die in the state of faith. May He help us to do that which He loves and which pleases Him. We ask Him to help us to remember Him, be thankful to Him, to worship Him properly, and to accept our good deeds and overlook our shortcomings. May He make us of those who are pious and fearful. At the same time, we love to obey Him and please Him and ask His mercy. May Allah bless our Prophet ﷺ, his family, his companions, radiallahu anhum. Whatever I said correct is from Allah Azza wa Jal. If I erred, then it is from my nafs and shaitan. I ask forgiveness and repentance. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم واستغفر غفور رحيم.